another method of integration. Now this method of integration is called integration using substitution. Okay, what type of integration we need to use substitution? Okay, here we have all these types and these three types, right? Now all these three types, they are not like this. They are not of this form. How to recognize this form and apply the substitution method? Now for this form, the term inside the bracket is linear, right? It's linear. If it is not linear, you cannot, because I mean not cannot, you can, but you have not learned this. Okay, what you are learning now is inside the bracket there is a function which is linear. So linear means ax plus b, right? Okay, so what is inside the bracket is a linear function. A, then got one term x, and no x squared, no x cubed, nothing inside. Then a constant term, and this is what we call linear. One term involving x and one constant term, right? And another thing is, in order to integrate this, the n cannot be -1. Other than that, everything can. Okay, so there is a formula for integrating this type of function, and of course the formula is not called substitution. The formula is we just memorize the method and do. Now afterwards I'm going to show you what is substitution. Okay, now this method is the substitution. Okay, you have to use u equals to 3x minus 5. So afterwards I'm going to prove to you using substitution. Okay, so far what we are learning here is not yet, right? Okay, the formula is like this. If you want to integrate this, you have to increase the index by 1, divide by the new index. On top of that, you have to divide by the number in front of x. Cannot understand, right? So we're going to look at this numerical example, how to integrate this type of function, where you have a linear function raised to a certain power. Okay, a linear function raised to a certain power. Okay, right. So the first step is, according to this formula here, you increase the index by 1. It becomes 7. When you become 7, you have to divide by 7. That's all, right? But you have to also divide by the number in front of x. That is 3. Okay, we see how. Right. Okay, so to integrate this type of function, you just integrate as usual. The whole bracket, you increase the index by 1. At the same time, you divide by this new index here, and also the number in front of x. That's all. This is the answer already. So if you want to simplify further, it becomes 3 times 7, 21, right? Then 3x minus 5 to the power of 7 plus c. Any questions so far? Do you know how to integrate this type of function? Okay, can. Okay, can. Right. Okay, I give you more examples on this type of function, right? So I explain this formula. Okay, like what we have done here. This bracket, the index, you just copy back the thing inside the bracket. The index increased by 1, divide by the new index, also divide by the number in front of a. Right? So this is what we are going to do. When you look at this example 2, the bracket is at the bottom, so we cannot integrate straight away. You have to modify it or simplify a bit first. How? Okay, the 2 you just leave it outside, and this bracket to the power of 2 means this bracket raised to the power of -2. Now that the function is expressed in terms of this index here, in the index form, you can integrate them. How? This number increased by 1, divide by the new number, also divide by the number in front of x. Here, the number in front of x is 1. Okay, so let's see how we're going to do it. Okay, so this number 2, which belongs to the whole bracket here, you cannot multiply inside because this is -2, and your 2 here has no index, so you cannot multiply inside. So what you can do is this 2 you take out, leave it outside. Then now this thing here is really of this form, ax plus b to the power n. Ax plus b to the power n. Okay, right, so what to do? Increase by 1, become -1, then divide by -1, and also divide by 1, the number in front of x. Now this is what I mean, right? So the 2, you just leave it outside. -2 becomes -1. You divide by -1. Also the number in front of x here, which is 1. Now actually the 1 here, I don't have to write because multiply by 1 is the same. But if you don't write the 1 here, next time when it is not 1, then you conveniently forget that you need to divide by the number in front of x, the coefficient of x. So make it a habit to introduce a 1 there, even though you know that this 1 you put there or not, the value is still the same, but put there. Now just in case, like here, the number is 3, then you have to put 3 in front. The number here is 1, the number in front of x is 1, you have to put 1 in front. Okay, so how to simplify? -1 times -1, then times by 2 here becomes -2. This is inconsistent with what I have been telling you all along. You want to simplify, you gather all the terms involving numbers first, multiply all of them together, put in front, then come to the term involving x. Okay, the term involving x has -1 there, so it's actually 1 over this thing, x minus 3. So this one is the 2 you can put inside, it becomes 2 over x minus 3. The 1 you just leave it outside, and of course remember to plus the arbitrary constant c. Any question?
No, teacher.
No, can understand. Okay, now we look at the third example. Now this first example, the index is a positive number. Second example, the index is a negative number. Now what does this third example trying to show us? The index is what? Negative number. So we try to express it in terms of the negative index. 5 over 3 is a constant, so you can move it outside here, the integration sign, right? Move it outside, 5 over 3, move it outside. You don't have to integrate this number, you only integrate the x. And this is 1, oh, I typed wrongly already. Oh, this is 1 minus 2x. Here I put 3x. Hey, sorry lah. Okay, never mind. So you remember this as 3x. You remember this as 3x. I typed wrongly here. Okay, now what we are going to do is the 3, sorry, the 3 here, you increase by 1, you add 1 there, becomes negative 2. So you divide by negative 2, right? You divide by negative 2. Other than negative 2, what must you do? Divide by what? The number in front of x. What is the number in front of x here? Negative 3. So this example shows us that negative 3, right? It's negative 3. So you have negative 3 here. So negative times negative, it will become positive. It will become positive. So let's see. So negative times negative, positive 6. Positive 6 times 3, 18. The 5 here is remain there at the top 5. So you gather all the numbers first, put in front. Then this term, you write back the same. And lastly, you move this negative 2 to the bottom, becomes 1 minus 3x to the power of 2. Okay, right. Any question? Any question?
No, teacher.
No, I want to change this. I want to change this to negative 3. Okay, negative 3. Okay, bring the screen, move here, then paste, then get this, pull out, then I cut, then move here, then I paste. Okay, right, so it's negative 3 actually. So this one, take away, delete. So move here. So the question should be negative 3. Okay, you have any question on this?